The stars had grown quiet over the Cygnus Reach, that vast, ancient stretch of space where the Kryllian Dominion had ruled unchallenged for 11,000 years. Theirs was an empire built on measured cruelty and mathematical certainty. Every species catalogued, every threat calculated, every rebellion crushed before it could draw breath. And then came the humans. For decades, the Dominion had watched Earth with the detached curiosity one gives an insect colony. Fascinating, perhaps, but ultimately irrelevant. Humanity was young, fractured, prone to fighting itself before anyone else got the chance. The Kryllian High Council had a saying, "A species that cannot unite cannot conquer." Humanity, by their estimation, was a joke that hadn't finished telling itself. That was about to change. Admiral Vex Thren stood on the observation deck of the Ashcrown, his 4 eyes narrowing at the sensor readout that had just arrived from the outer colonies. His aide, a nervous young officer named Scar, hesitated before speaking. "Admiral, the humans have finished construction on the object in the Sol asteroid belt." Vex didn't turn. "The mining platform?" "It was never a mining platform, sir." Something in Scar's voice made the Admiral finally look up. The image on the screen made his breath catch. It was massive. Not warship massive. Not even fleet massive. Moon massive. A construct nearly 900 kilometers across. Its hull a lattice of dark alloy and pulsing blue conduits, hanging silently in the black like a second, artificial world. Sensors couldn't even determine where the weapon systems ended and the ship itself began, because the entire vessel was the weapon. "That's impossible," Vex whispered. "No species builds like this, not even us." "Sir," Scar said quietly, "there are 7 more under construction." The Dominion had ruled through fear of scale, their armadas thousands of ships strong, each one a marvel of ancient engineering. But numbers meant nothing against a single vessel the size of a moon. The math the Kryllians had used for 11,000 years simply broke. Vex convened the War Council within the hour. Holograms of a dozen alien commanders flickered to life around the table. The insectoid Vren, the crystalline Salathi, the reptilian Karas, all wearing the same expression of disbelief. "They must be bluffing," Commander Karas hissed. "No civilization achieves this so quickly. Humans have had spaceflight for what, 2 centuries? "Then explain the readings," Vex said, gesturing to the display. "Explain how a species we called primitive just rewrote the rules of galactic warfare." Silence answered him. It was Scar, still standing at the edge of the room, who finally spoke the thought no one wanted to voice. "Maybe we never understood them at all." 3 months earlier, in a control room beneath the Nevada desert, Dr. Elena Reyes had stood before a very different kind of council. Not alien warlords, but exhausted engineers, soldiers, and diplomats from every nation on Earth. "We're not building this to conquer," she told them, her voice steady despite the trembling hands of the men around her. "We're building it because the Dominion has erased 3 species in the last decade for the crime of existing in their path. We build this so that never happens to us. So that never happens to anyone again, if we can help it." An old general, gray-haired and weary from a lifetime of watching humanity fight itself, finally spoke. "And if they attack before we're ready?" Elena looked at the blueprints spread across the table. A design born not from one nation's ambition, but from the desperate, unprecedented cooperation of all of them. Chinese propulsion engineers working beside American physicists. Russian metallurgists sharing tables with engineers from Nigeria, India, Brazil. For the first time in history, humanity had stopped asking who gets the credit and started asking how do we survive together. "Then we'll have already given them something more dangerous than a warship," she said. "We'll have shown them what happens when humanity stops fighting itself." The first contact came 6 weeks later, not with fire, but with silence. A single Kryllian scout vessel, the Ashcrown itself, approached the lead human warship, designated Ark of Unity, expecting to test its defenses, perhaps provoke a skirmish to gauge its capabilities. Instead, a transmission opened. No demands, no threats. A young human communications officer appeared on screen, barely more than a child by Kryllian reckoning, her expression calm, even kind. "This is the Ark of Unity," she said. "We saw your approach. Are your crew in need of assistance? We detected damage to your outer hull consistent with debris impact." Vex, watching from the bridge, felt something cold settle in his chest. It wasn't the offer of help that unsettled him. It was that they meant it. "Why?" he transmitted back, voice sharp with suspicion. "Would you help a warship of the Empire that has erased 3 of your neighboring species?" The young woman's expression didn't waver. "Because there are still people inside that ship, and we don't believe in leaving people to die when we could have helped. Even people who might have been sent to kill us." Vex ordered the repairs accepted. It was tactical curiosity, he told himself. Nothing more. But as Kryllian engineers boarded a human vessel for the first time in history, they found no traps, no hidden weapons, no attempt at coercion. Just human crew members working alongside them, sharing rations, telling jokes that didn't translate but were laughed at anyway. One old Kryllian engineer, a war veteran who had seen 100 worlds burn under Dominion fire, pulled aside a young human technician. The technician, a young man named Marcus, still smudged with grease, just shrugged. "That's kind of the point. We didn't build these ships to be like you. We built them so nobody would ever have to be like you again." Admiral Vex returned to Kryllian space carrying no battle plans, no strategic advantage, no intelligence on human weaknesses. He carried something far more dangerous: doubt. Standing before the High Council, he did not speak of the moon-sized warships, though they haunted his reports. He spoke instead of the young woman who offered help to an enemy, of engineers laughing together across the gulf of 2 impossible worlds, of a species capable of annihilating star systems who chose instead to extend a hand. "We always believed strength was the ability to destroy," Vex said quietly, "but theirs is the strength to choose not to, and I fear that is a power our empire has never possessed." The council chamber fell into a silence 11,000 years in the making. Because for the first time, the Dominion understood. Humanity hadn't built the galaxy's most powerful weapons to conquer the stars. They'd built them to protect the right to be kind. And for the first time, the galaxy understood what it truly meant to be human.